Welcome to our Ibiza travel vlog 2024. I think we've had an Ibiza travel vlog every year for the past 4 or 5 years, but this is a really special trip because Charlie and I are here to celebrate our 1-year wedding anniversary. I have to take my hat or my sunglasses off to Charlie because he's organised this entire trip. I only found out we were coming to Ibiza about 3 days ago, and as we were sitting having lunch in the most gorgeous spot here at our hotel, Charlie presented me with the itinerary that he's created for our time here. So we have got some really amazing plans while we're here that Charlie has organised. So we arrived today and we are going to head down to the spa now. We've just had a couple of hours out by the pool. The pool area is gorgeous. Where we're staying is beautiful. Charlie actually heard about this from a friend, but I had actually had this hotel on my wish list, bucket list, for quite a few years. So it's very surreal to finally be staying here after looking at photos of it for so long. But anyway, we are heading down to the spa now. Great way to help the body recover from a day of traveling or few hours of traveling is with a nice massage. So Charlie's booked us both in for 80-minute deep tissue. The spa here is meant to be incredible. I've seen lots of photos of it, so I can't wait. Let's go and enjoy. So we have emerged from our massage slumber. That was a gorgeous 80-minute treatment. Started off with the lady climbing on my back, which was interesting, but definitely did the trick of loosening up my very, very tense shoulders. I'm rocking the massage oil slicked back bun for dinner tonight. Tonight is potentially our only evening having dinner at the hotel because Charlie's organised so many gorgeous evenings while we're here. So I'm hoping we're going to get an amazing sunset because this hotel is on the sunset side of the island. I've popped on this little Holland Cooper dress, and I've got my little sandals and fun little 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 bag, which I took to the Chelsea Flower Show. I'm not being lazy, but I just don't have enough coat hangers to hang up everything. I have quite literally bought enough outfits with me for 2 weeks. So yeah, not quite enough room in the wardrobe. But without further ado, let's head to dinner. We can have our breakfast in the morning, overlooking the pool area. my darlings. It is our first full day in Ibiza. We had an incredible evening at the Eden restaurant here at the hotel last night. The sunset was absolutely gorgeous, even though it was quite cloudy. That just meant that there was so much to look at. It was really dramatic and the food was absolutely delicious. So we had a great night's sleep, set our alarms for 7, woke up to the sound of the birds twittering, which you can probably still hear, and then we got ourselves into the gym, trying to get into those good habits on day 1 of the holiday. When Charlie and I go away, we like to try and stick with our routines as much as possible, which just helps us feel good the whole time we're away. So obviously over the last couple of years I've started to share a little bit more kind of health and wellness here on the channel, so I thought I would just spend a couple of minutes sharing how we like to kind of stay healthy while we're on holiday, I guess. And I actually read a really interesting blog post on the Wild Nutrition website, as well as selling supplements. They also have loads of really informative articles on their website. I'll leave the one that I read linked down below, but some of the things we already did and some of them I am now thinking, oh yeah, that's something else that I should do when I'm traveling. So the first thing to think about that is on this blog post that Charlie and I have definitely been doing for the last couple of years is to really think about your gut when you are traveling. So we've really thought about the way that we choose different foods based on what's going to be good for our gut. Obviously, if your gut is happy, then pretty much your whole body is happy, from your mind, your energy levels, your skin, everything. So we've all been there, where we've been to a different country and suddenly our tummy is not happy. So a few things you can do to try and keep that balance in check. Firstly, fermented foods. So initially you might be thinking, ew, I don't want to be having sauerkraut when I'm on holiday, but actually my favorite thing to do is just, if your hotel has got some nice yogurt, or even better, kefir at breakfast, then that is an amazing fermented food that's so good for the gut. If you don't love it on its own, I like to add granola. This morning I just had their homemade Hacienda granola with my kefir. You could mix it into a smoothie, that would be delicious. You could try adding it, you could add it to your coffee, that might be a little bit weird. But yeah, so a kefir is a really nice way of getting your gut nice and balanced. When it comes to making the body feel good after a day of traveling, yesterday the flight was only 2 hours, but still, a little bit of lymphatic drainage, whether that's something that you do yourself with gua sha stones, or if you're able to book yourself in for a massage, that just really kind of resets the body after a day of traveling. And doing some stretches like a nice yoga class or getting the body moving with a walk is also fantastic. There was a yoga class this morning, but we decided to go to the gym instead, but I think we're definitely gonna do the yoga tomorrow. I wanted to show you Charlie's very handy little packet here that he brings with him with his Wild Nutrition supplements. I'm going to leave this pot link down below. It's actually got the different days labeled on it, and we've got everything here from magnesium, which is basically fantastic for energy, for helping you sleep. He's also got the Wild Nutrition B vitamins in here, which again, fantastic for energy, specifically when you are traveling. It can help you with jet lag, it can help with your immune system, again just helping to keep the body on track when you're on the go. Charlie is also taking the male fertility supplement. As I've said before, it takes 2 to tango, and I take the where are my sachets? Daily essentials for women's fertility sachets. While Charlie likes to be a little bit more bespoke in the supplements that he chooses to take, so he gets the bottles, and you can also use my discount code, which is 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, for 50% off your first 3 months of the subscription. That also works for the individual bottles, so we get ashwagandha, the B vitamins, the fertility for men, magnesium, and yeah, Charlie basically divvies them out into this. That's how he likes to take them. But for me, this is just absolute perfection. I put one of these in my handbag. At breakfast, I just open it up and have my supplements. So in here, I have got my daily amount of omega-3, and then also 2 of the little multivitamins, which also contains the nutrients for fertility as well. For me, that's just super convenient. I take these at home, but also when I'm traveling, it's just the easiest way for me to never forget my supplements, because when you're on the go, it's just as important as when you're at home, because it's all about sticking to those those routines. As I always say, Charlie and I have been taking Wild Nutrition for years now. We are huge advocates for them. The fact that they are food grown means that, again, like when you travel, you don't want to suddenly start ingesting loads of completely different things that your body's not used to. It's the same with supplements. You don't want to be taking something that's full of artificial ingredients. I read a fact the other day that 95% of supplements on the market actually contain artificial ingredients, whereas Wild Nutrition is food grown. So what that means is our body actually recognizes all the different nutrients and knows exactly what to do with them, so we're able to absorb them and get the most out of the nutrients. They specialize in women's supplements from teenage years to fertility to pregnancy to post-baby to menopause, perimenopause, but I actually heard of Wild Nutrition via Charlie. So they are not just for women, but Henrietta Norton, the founder, she did design them for women. But yeah, we are a huge fan, so taking your supplements and sticking with that is also a great way of maintaining a healthy lifestyle when you are on holiday. So while I don't like to completely change my diet when I'm away, I do of course like to try local seasonal food. We're in Spain, so the incredible tomatoes and fresh vegetables here. Yesterday for lunch we had these incredible juicy tomatoes. You rub them on bread, and also thinking about foods like garlic, so good for you, so good for your immunity. Rubbing your garlic on the toast is just absolutely scrumptious and so good for the body as well. And then of course something else which is really obvious when it comes to staying healthy on holiday is getting some sunshine, but also protecting yourself. My favorite SPF, this is actually, I've always loved the Q sun range, the Vino Sun, and normally I'd use either their Factor 50 oil or their Factor 30 cream, depending on where we are in the holiday. But I think this must be a new product from them. It's called their Very High Protection Sun Water, and you have to shake this up. It's like a bio phase. It's got half and half. You shake it up to mix the two together. You can see down at the bottom it's starting to separate, and it's like a really lightweight oil. My skin feels super moisturized. I checked all the ingredients of this and they're really good ingredients. I'm not putting anything too strong on my skin. I mentioned this in a Maldives vlog about 6 years ago. I actually worked with 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 when they first brought out this sun care range. Basically, it is also ocean safe, so it doesn't contain octinoxate or oxybenzone, which are the chemicals that can really bleach and damage coral and sea life. So if you want to be a little bit more conscious as to what you're putting on the body for both you and for the planet, then this is a range that I highly recommend. But keeping on top of your SPF through both sun protection and also hats. This one is not going to offer me a huge amount of sun protection, but enough on the face. I also like to bring with me my little visors. I always wear these when I'm gardening, but yeah, just staying protected where possible. I know it's a bit cliche, but staying out of that mega hot midday sun. And then another really obvious one is just staying hydrated. Charlie and I always travel with our ocean bottles. I'm gonna get a new one of this because it's gone two-tone, where I have put it in the dishwasher so many times, but it still works absolutely perfectly. I love these because if you go to the gym or if you at breakfast, they've got mineral water. You can just top up your bottle, have it with you on the beach. Keeps your water whatever temperature it was when you put it in the bottle. You can also use the lid as a little coffee cup or a little mug if you want to as well. They're just the best, and they are super duper lightweight bottles, so I highly recommend ocean bottles. Discount code wise, so obviously I mentioned 𝑦𝒊𝒏𝒅 for the Wild Nutrition. I got my 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 on Look Fantastic, so you can use 𝑗osieFear LF, and then we've got Josie LDN, so many to remember, that gets you 10% off your ocean bottles. So hydration, supplements, protection, moving your body, and then finally, I would say just getting out in the sun during the daylight hours, especially in the morning if you are traveling a little bit further and there's a time difference. Getting your body out in the natural light is so good for helping you with jet lag. So yeah, those are a couple of my little tips for staying healthy on holiday. I like to just keep moving as much as possible. If we're having a day by the pool, then I'll just get up and go for a walk every now and then. But it's all stuff that's easy to do. You don't want to be on holiday and constantly worrying about making sure you're doing everything you need to do to stay healthy. So it's all about relaxing. So I'm hopefully going to finish my book today. I've bought Wives Like Us with Us. I'm still only about halfway through, but I do tend to power read on holiday. So we are now going to head down to the pool. I will probably finish this around lunchtime, I imagine. And then I think we are going to spend the afternoon down on one of the local beaches. So it's going to be a glorious day. Lunchtime after a few blissful hours by the pool. We didn't want to get exactly the same as yesterday, but couldn't resist the croquetas. Nice colourful salad, got some chicken and a few more bits to come. And here's the rest. We've got a grilled avo covered in lots of yummy things, the kitchen garden hummus with veggies from their garden and some steamed veg. Delicious. Good, darling?
Very good.
Tutto bene. So this is my beautiful afternoon reading and rosé spot. Beautiful view. The sun sets over in this corner, which is where we got to see it setting last night, which was really magical. Still high in the sky at 6:15, but I just wanted to show you this. This is my paper anniversary gift from Charlie, which I've already spilt something on. This is our itinerary while we're here in Ibiza. So Charlie's jotted down everything that we're doing each day. So tonight we've got dinner at Casa Maca, tomorrow a day at Atzaro, dinner at Juntos House, a hike on Saturday, brunch at a local finca, a spa treatment. Sunday we've got a trip to Formentera, and then we leave on Monday. But how sweet is this? My little itinerary. Charlie has organised his very own school trip for us for our anniversary. And I'm pleased to report the rosé here is rather fabulous. Okay, it's a couple of hours later. We had a glorious afternoon by the pool, didn't we, darling?
Very lucky. Very lucky, because the day started gloriously and then it started to cloud over just when we had lunch. And then we had 3 or 4 hours of wonderful sunshine in the afternoon. Also good not to get too, in a way it's kind of a blessing not to have too much sun on the first day. Yes. Food's been lovely. We've had some nice time to switch off and relax a little bit, haven't we? Have. I mean, it's going to go quickly because we're only here another 4 days, but...
Don't start the countdown.
I know, it goes quickly, but it's been lovely.
It has, and we are off to Casa Maca tonight, which is one that we have wanted to visit for a very long time.
And a very kind follower of yours, a very kind subscriber, bought us a voucher which is going to in some way pay for our meal this evening, which is extremely kind for our wedding. So we had that, and I think it was because they obviously know we love coming to Ibiza. Maybe I think the story was they had been there and loved the food and seen that we didn't visit there when we came in May last year. So, and it was on our list in May last year, but it's quite hard to get a book. It's one of those places you have to book about a week in advance.
Ooh, to be honest, most places in Ibiza now you've got to book it so far in advance, it's crazy. But we're going to head there now. I just threw the drone up, but even though it feels still, the wind is picking up, so I was a bit scared actually, so you probably got 3 seconds of drone footage there, but you can see the amazing location of the hotel is in and what a gorgeous sunset it's going to be tonight. But without further ado, let's head to Casa Maca. So our hotel is actually in a national park or nature reserve, I'm not sure what they call them here, which is kind of the Ibiza version of an AONB. Charlie, move to the left. It takes a little bit of getting used to the road positioning here.
Do you know what I'm finding strange? It's lovely being in a convertible, but I do miss being high up. Because all our cars at home are high up. And it feels quite sort of
like
disconcerting to be this low to the road.
Very low on the road.
I feel like you're in a go-kart.
Yeah, it does feel like we're in a go-kart. Takes some getting used to, but the views here are just amazing. I mean, imagine this being your drive to your finca. Absolutely beautiful. So this is Casa Maca. We're about to lose the sun behind that hill. It's a lot bigger than I thought.
Yeah, it's
got
big,
lots of different areas. I think they've got a little kitchen garden here somewhere. Lots of fresh ingredients, but we'll have a little look around. So it's actually a hotel. I think this is the reception area through here, and these little cabins as the rooms. A swimming pool through here. It's called a rural hotel, but I don't know if you can hear. There's quite a lot of road noise here, and you've got the main kind of industrial part of the town literally just there. So it's not quite as rural as I actually thought it was from the pictures, but nonetheless it's absolutely beautiful. I wouldn't say quite as beautiful as where we're staying or At Atzaro, but I've heard amazing things about the food here, so I'm excited to give that a try. I return from my trip to the ladies, and Charlie has ordered some jamon and bread with tomato. The best. The menu here is amazing.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yummy! We've just placed our food orders, and they have got an incredible kitchen garden, which of course I'm desperate to explore. This is so beautifully done, all of these rustic beds, the herbs, the tomatoes of course here are already fully in season. These ones aren't quite ripe yet, but maybe they've actually just been picking all the ripe ones to have with our bread. Little bed of kale. Jalapenos, I love that they grow outside here. I need a hot greenhouse to grow jalapenos. Wow, it's fabulous. They've got their sunflowers already springing to life. I love these big canes with all of the tomatoes growing up them. Gosh, I bet they get through a lot. Wowza. That lemon tree in the middle. Gosh, it's just absolutely beautiful, very abundant. Charlie has just spotted that Calvin Harris is eating on one of the tables at the front there. I think he's performing, is it every night or every Thursday night in Ibiza? Pretty cool. I wouldn't recognize him, but Charlie spotted him. Here's our starters. We've got all done over the charcoals on the fire. Smoked leek. We've got an aubergine and what's the other one? Artichoke. My
yeah,
gosh.
these are the artichokes, yeah.
All super smoky and delicious.
So.
Wow, this looks amazing! in Ibiza, keeping my voice down because we're in the spa garden area at Atzaro today, which if you have watched any of my Ibiza vlogs before, you'll know that this is our favourite place on the island. It's one of my favourite places in the world. We're spending the day here today, which I'm really excited about, and it's a scorcher today. It's already about 26-27 degrees, which for a Brit is very hot. last night, oh my goodness, I'd heard a lot of people recommending Casa Maca, and initially when we pulled up I was like, oh, this is a weird location. As I said, it's kind of just off like quite an industrial area from the capital, but they've got this big plot of land and they have worked absolute miracles to make it look the way that it currently does. The vibe there was amazing. There was a DJ, but it wasn't like party vibes. But when I say the food, I think that was possibly one of, if not the best meal, taste-wise, that I've ever had. Every single dish was incredible. So delicious, from the smoky yogurt covered aubergine at the beginning. They had like a char-grilled leek. I mean, you saw it. It was so well cooked, fresh ingredients, eye-wateringly expensive, even with the lovely voucher from one of our very kind followers. Yeah, it was not an affordable meal in the slightest. In fact, considering we only had 2 alcoholic drinks, still one of the most expensive meals I think we have ever had, which is bonkers. But I don't mind spending a fortune if you get incredible things from it, and we most definitely did. It was absolutely amazing. The fact that Calvin Harris was there as well, not DJing, just enjoying a meal there, was pretty cool. Oh, my bracelet has just pinged off. I did a little bit of googling because I wanted to like triple check that it was him, and apparently he actually owns the largest organic farm in Ibiza. It's a 138-acre farm, and that is where he lives most of the time. So really interesting that he's also getting into farming, and not that I'm getting into farming, I'm becoming more interested in it, but I thought that was quite interesting. But yeah, fantastic evening, really incredible food. I will definitely go back there whenever we next come to Ibiza. Hopefully another trip this summer for the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 dinner, which is happening at this hotel in August. We're just seeing if they've got availability here. But yeah, so this morning we spent a couple of hours by our pool just reading before we mustered up the energy to get in the car and come here. It's about midday now, and we're going to spend the rest of the day here at Atzaro, so you can come here just for the day, which is nice if you want to change of scenery. You get these lovely cabanas, which you do need to book, and then you can use lots of the facilities here. The pool here is a saltwater pool. They've got freshwater springs all around the estate, which is also one of the reasons that they're able to make the gardens here so incredible. This area, they call it the botanical garden. I'll show you around a little bit later, maybe when the sun starts to go down a bit, because honestly it's just so toasty. And I weirdly think I burnt my eyelids yesterday. Such a strange sensation, but I didn't want too much sun on my face today. Honestly don't know how I managed that, because I had my cap on all of yesterday. But they've got a massive vegetable garden here, which is where they host the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 dinners. Humongous. We just had a little look around. They've got another pool up there, which is purely for hotel guests. We're obviously not staying here, we're just here for the day. An incredible restaurant, which is actually the reason that we know about this place, because, apologies if you've heard this story before, but about 7 or 8 years ago when my mum and I came to Ibiza together, we spent the day on a very small local beach near here, and then we were looking for somewhere for a late lunch because there wasn't a cafe on the beach, and I basically followed the knife and fork crossed sign that was on the roadside, and it led us to here. So it's a complete accident that we found this place, and I think we visited every year since then. Just love it so much. It is so our vibes. You're completely in amongst the garden, in amongst nature here. Gorgeous luxurious hotel. I think it was in 2021. I think it was 2021, it was just after COVID, because I remember being really emotional when the plane landed. It was the first flight we'd taken since COVID. We came here with Ali and Lydia for, I think we stayed for a week. We stayed here for a week, and then we were having such a good time that we extended the trip by another few days. So that vlog is here on the channel as well if you want to see what it's like actually staying here. But yeah, hopefully we'll stay here again in August, and I couldn't recommend a trip here any more highly. If you do come to Ibiza, it is my favourite place. Food's amazing, vibe's amazing, there's a great gym, there's a cold plunge, there's saunas all amongst the kitchen garden, vegetable garden they call it here. I just love it, and it is, if you're into taking photos, it is the most photogenic place in the world, in the entire world. So without further ado, I'm going to go and join Charlie, who is intensely sunbathing. This is my cute little beach dress. It's from a brand called Spirit and Grace, and I love it. And then I've got 𝘞𝘩𝘢 bikini on today. Okay, let's go and get in the sun. Very toasty hours by the pool, heading up to our favourite restaurant now for lunch. It's one of the most beautiful restaurants I have ever seen. Wait until you see this. Oh, just heavenly. This beautiful pergola covered in grapevines under the palm trees. It is heaven. This is inside bit too. You might remember last year when we came and we met up with Em and Matt. We had to eat in here because it was raining. Scandalous. Oh, cheers. So this is officially the best aioli in Ibiza. I've eaten about 12 bread slices already, but next we've got the jamón, croquetas, and lots more to come. You actually going to have bread, darling?
I'm going to have this bread. Thank you.
Yum.
What I'm actually going to do...
What are you going to do?
Is this.
Aioli, tomato, and jamón.
Yeah.
Sensational. That's how you do it. We've just had a delightful lunch at the At Atzaro restaurant. Has that restaurant got a name?
I think it's just the main restaurant, isn't it?
The main
At Atzaro restaurant.
Yes, it was delicious. And I don't think I've ever eaten quite so much bread and aioli in my entire life. So we're just walking it off with a quick stroll through the huerto.
It's quite a good way of hiding the solar panels, actually.
That's a very good idea, yeah.
In a row like that.
Away. Yes, the huerto is their vegetable garden, and this is one of my favourite gardens in the whole world. It's absolutely huge. They are growing not only the fruit and veg for here at Atzaro, but also their restaurant 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 and their beach club at Atzaro Beach, which we also love. So here they've got strings which tomato vines will grow up. They're still just little babies at the moment. They are growing them successionally. There are some much more established tomatoes down here. This is the vegetable garden within which the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒕 will take place. They have got a little pond in the middle here for biodiversity, and they've got these little wildflower sections as well this year, which is also going to help bring lots of little bugs and insects into the garden. This is their kale section, 𝑘𝒉𝒄, curly kale, and then round here, my goodness, I thought my rainbow chard was Jurassic. Look at this one, absolutely huge. Everything here is growing quite incredibly. They've got their little salads over here, and look at that beautiful archway covered in flowers. This section hasn't been planted up yet, but then if we go down here, you can see these really tall tomato vines. Gosh, they are growing so much here. Row after row after row of tomatoes, vining, ripening in the sun. Look at this. My gosh, it's a forest of tomatoes. Charlie is getting a snap of the sunflowers. They are absolutely ginormous. So tall, they must be about 8 or 9 feet. And then we're just surrounded by the tomato rainforest. I love how they've used old driftwood to create the boundaries in the garden. It's absolutely beautiful. And then just little wildflowers. This is a type of poppy. How beautiful. If that seed head was dry, I would be picking that and bringing it home with me. Love how they've just got the little wildflower areas to attract all the little buggies into the garden.
The longer vine tomatoes.
Gosh, they are amazing. Look how beautiful those tomatoes are. It's just so magical how all the vines are hanging down on this little covered walkway. Gosh, the world's biggest beetroot growing over there. More wildflower, more tomatoes. It's just so lovely. Beautiful, big, organic vegetable garden. Okay, I've probably got some major lines going on my forehead from wearing my hat at lunchtime. But that was a lovely little stroll around the kitchen garden. Vegetable garden, they call it here. trying to persuade Charlie to do a cold plunge and sauna session with me, but he wants to sunbathe a little bit longer. I'm now on to book 2 for the trip. This is the Dorito effect, which I think is going to be really interesting. It's the surprising new truth about food and flavour. I find things like this fascinating. We met a really nice British couple at lunchtime, and upon chatting to them it transpired that they also have got 2 sausage dogs. So I gave Natalie, the girl Wives Like Us, I said that I thought she'd enjoy it, and I just finished it, so yeah, passed that on for her to read, and changed into this lovely swimsuit which is from H&M. I always like to put a full swimsuit on after lunch just to hide the bloat, so hopefully these few little wispy clouds blow away, and we're gonna have another couple of hours in the sun and enjoy the rest of our time at Atzaro. Good evening, my darlings. It's 7:30 now. We've spent the day by the pool. Didn't realise when I put this on earlier that it's got cute little bows on the shoulders. Excuse my mess everywhere. I've just put some makeup on here at the beach cabana, or pool cabana, because we've decided we're going to go straight to dinner. Luckily, I thought we might decide this, so I packed my living proof dry shampoo. That's better. Okay, now I need to get changed. Good evening, my darlings. We have left Atzaro now, but we've actually just booked to come back to Ibiza later in the summer. This very often happens when we come to Ibiza. There's a magnetism about this island, and when we come we just never want to leave, and we always say, oh gosh, we need more, it's very greedy. And yeah, but I mentioned that 𝘞𝘠𝘢𝘞𝘢𝘢𝘠 is doing the dinner here in August. I don't think it's sold out as of this moment, so I will leave tickets linked down below. So we've actually booked ourselves back at Atzaro for the 𝘞𝘠𝘢𝘞𝘢𝘢𝑑inner. Ooh, breezy! But I feel like we're really doing a tour, thanks to Charlie's amazing itinerary and planning, of all of the most wonderful kind of organic farm-to-fork places in Ibiza. He's booked us tonight at a lovely place called Juntos Farm. These are all places in the never eat shredded wheat northwest to north of the island, which is more quiet, very chilled, a little bit bohemian, and definitely our favourite side of the island. Juntos Farm, where it's I think restaurant is called just Juntos, and they've got a farm about 5 minutes down the road. All the ingredients are organic, locally sourced, literally minutes down the road, and a really small menu which looks lovely. This is a little garden that they've got at the back of the restaurant. It's not huge, so with all these places you definitely need to make a booking. But I think I'm going to do a blog post on our favourite restaurants in Ibiza, because I feel like we've discovered so many more this trip. So if that is out by the time this vlog goes live, which it might be because I think I'm about 5 days ahead, then I'll leave that link down below in case you're visiting for summer. But I'm just going to go and grab Charlie and hopefully take a nice photo in this garden, because it's so beautiful, and we've just got that gorgeous golden hour lighting. This is just a nice little seated area here where you can overlook the restaurant, watch the sun disappearing behind the hills. The jasmine is in full bloom everywhere, and it's so beautifully scented. As we were arriving, you could smell the lavender as you come through the gardens as well. It's just so lovely. And then you've got this little courtyard, which is the restaurant. So beautiful. I left Charlie alone for 3 minutes and he's already found a house that he wants to buy in Ibiza. Is it a finca?
Sort of. It's not that old.
My goodness. Absolutely beautiful. We have got some grilled tempura zucchini flowers on a pesto, and of course some jamon to start with. This is a lavender cocktail. It is scrumptious. So far, very delicious. We've got a char grilled and then breaded and then deep fried aubergine, which sounds like a dream. Do you want to do the honours, darling?
I will. Apparently it's got quite a spicy sauce on there.
Yes.
Unbelievable, right?
Mmm.
Wow.
Ooh. Nice. Very nice. Thank you, darling. Good morning, my darlings. Day 3 in Ibiza. I have woken up with a slightly sore throat. I think we put the aircon on just a tiny bit too high last night, and you know what, it's really painful to swallow. But world's smallest violin, I'm very aware that it is awful in the UK at the moment. I think it's been almost like icy hailstones in June. Today, last year, would have been the day before our wedding, and I would have been so nervous and upset if the weather had been like this. So I'm feeling very, very grateful that we're here in the sun, and just so exceptionally grateful that we had the weather that we did in June. In the UK this time last year, it was the heat wave week, if you remember, and it was just so magical in the lead up to our wedding and on our wedding days. Sorry. So today, actually, speaking of the weather, it's not cloudy, but there are a few clouds in the sky today, but actually it works perfectly because as part of Charlie's magical itinerary, we've got a short little hike this morning to an abandoned finca farmhouse where the hotel are setting up a lovely brunch. So it's the perfect morning for that. I've got head to toe really cozy В𝒊𝒐𝒏 sweater and matching short set on, and then the new Lululemon that I got in the Net-a-Porter sale. But it should be a really lovely hike. I'm excited to see some of the scenery. The sun is coming out, so let's go. Okay, so we are doing a little hike. We've gone up to the top of a hill and we're now meandering down the hairpin bends. This is actually the road that we accidentally drove down last night. In the daytime it doesn't look quite so petrifying, but last night we thought that we were going to destroy the car, didn't we? Well,
it was one of those experiences. It was an anecdote that we'll probably tell time and time again when we come to Ibiza, but it was one of those where we left the restaurant last night and we just put our hotel into Google Maps. And it started taking us a really scenic route, and we're like, wow, this is, you know, because this part of the island is very like the Cotswolds, and it is very rural, not a lot of properties, mostly very little light pollution. And we start coming up this lane, and it gets narrower and narrower, and more overgrown. And you
can see the blue line on the Google Maps. It's like,
and then it starts doing like that, like a roller coaster, and we're like, okay. And yeah,
sheer drops on either side.
We obviously booked a little convertible, which has been wonderful. But anyway, luckily it was all fine, and we just took it very slow. But it did get quite nerve-wracking at times where we're going up and down like this in a small car. Yeah. And yeah, when we mentioned
the bottom of the car like scraping on the rocks.
And when we mentioned it to the ladies that are leading the hike today, they were like, oof, and their faces when we said we drove this route. And she said it does happen sometimes, and obviously particularly at night time. But I guess we were lucky that it's not a very used road. Yeah. Because had we met another car, we'd have been in trouble. Yeah. Because there was no space to turn around. I mean, you can see even here. Yeah. But yeah, an experience. Yeah. It's nice to walk the route, isn't it?
It is.
A bit more overcast today, so.
Yeah, just for this morning. Good. Still some blue skies coming. But yeah, I think we're going to have a little pit stop in a minute. And all the way down here is where the hotel's organic kitchen garden is. So looking forward to seeing that. This is the organic garden that they get the produce for the hotel. They grow everything from the aubergines and berries. We've got some little flowers here. And I think this little spot here is where we're going to have some brunch. How nice! The ground is so dry, it's actually a miracle that anything grows here, but obviously these varieties are used to it. We've got some young tomato plants growing up here. Rainbow chard, a little bit smaller than my rainbow chard at home, but I think mine has got a lot more water in the soil. We've got lemon and lime trees, lots of courgettes, lots of herbs. They said they also work with another couple of local farmers to get all the quantity that they need. I think that's aubergine, none growing just yet, and then courgettes. Ooh, little courgettes starting to grow from here. They'll probably climb all up that fence by the end of summer. That's very satisfying. All of the lettuces ready for our salads at the hotel. need to have these gnats because there's so many little butterflies that just would love to nibble on this. But look what satisfying shapes they are, like green little nature's pom-poms. This is where we're having a little pit stop. The hotel are bringing us up some brunch, which is going to be gorgeous. This is a cute little finca farmhouse. They've got some bougainvillea and grapevines growing up it. A few little areas for tables here. I wonder what their plans are in the long run. You can tell that they want to maybe turn this into like a little external dining area. You can have wedding receptions in here, and there's lots of really old style farming equipment. Oh, that's a cute little seating area. Nice views. It's still a little bit cloudy, but it's meant to clear up a bit later. And then let me show you in here. There's an old, I guess this would be for like crushing seeds, crushing wheat bits. And then this is an olive press. It kind of reminds me of the apple press if you watch the vlog where we were pressing apples in the village. So this spins down and presses here. The olives go between the mats with some water, and then the olive oil comes out of this little hole here. Very clever. I'd love to see that in action. Okay, slight change of plan. I think the hotel got the timing a bit wrong. So we're going to go back to the hotel, to their Nest restaurant, and have brunch there instead, which will be lovely. So another 20 minutes of walking and we're back at the hotel. This worked out perfectly. This is where we're going to have our brunch, in the Nest above the hotel. What a view. So we are back from our hike after a lovely brunch, and I'm now sat in the sun reading. And I think it was the day before yesterday when I was talking about my wild nutrition, I mentioned about food not having quite the same nutrients as it used to. And quite coincidentally, in my new book, I finally finished Wives Like Us. This is called The Dorito Effect. It's actually talking about this exact thing. It's talking about why we've been breeding fruit and veg and even things like chicken to be more mass producible, to feed more people, but as a result there's less flavour and less nutrients. So it's saying a study found that 1950s kale had twice as much riboflavin as modern kale. 1950s cauliflower had twice as much thiamine. 1950s asparagus had almost 3 times as much ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C. Some things are different, however, like spring onions now have got less, but overall most things have got less nutrients than they did 50 to 70 years ago, which is really interesting. And yeah, as I mentioned, one of the reasons why I like to take supplements, but this is really fascinating. It's already said in the first chapter how Doritos were really quite a game changer for the food industry, because as natural fruit and veg and meat was losing its flavour, the industry was learning how to create artificial flavour, and Doritos just came in at that exact time, and that's why one of the reasons they became so popular. Very, very interesting. I'm not going to read the whole book out to you, but just this little bit. So a researcher found something called the dilution effect. After years of nutritional research, he found that from as far back as the 1940s, when crops were fertilised and irrigated, they contained lower concentrations of major minerals and trace minerals, but intensive farming wasn't the whole story. He also found evidence that there was genetic dilution taking place. So things like broccoli, wheat and corn, they were losing nutrients because of careful breeding. Just like chickens, they'd been selected to grow faster and bigger, and that was diluting the nutrition. So everything farmers had been doing for the last 50 years, and obviously this still goes on, breeding, fertilising, spraying, was ganging up on the nutrition of everything that they're growing. Okay, this is the last little snippet, I promise, and I'm just mentioning this especially because we're in Spain and a lot of people always say the tomatoes taste different here and they're so bland and watery when you get them in supermarkets at home. So down at the bottom of page 30 it's saying that many tomatoes have no flavour because they are picked when they are green. The tomatoes have to make a long journey from the fields in places like Florida, California and Mexico to the supermarket shelves very far away. So they ripen on the truck and they're very often stored in warehouses and later fogged with ethylene gas, which advances the ripening process. But a tomato that ripens in a truck or a warehouse, as every grandmother will tell you, just isn't the same as a tomato that ripens on the vine. As soon as it's been severed from its metabolic energy source, the leaves, it loses most of the capacity to turn itself into something delicious, which makes total sense. Reached the stage of the holiday that I'm probably on triple figures with the amount of croquettes that we've eaten, but these ones in particular are very good. Jamon.
The At Atzaro ones were good, but these jamon ones are the best.
Yeah, because At Atzaro they're mushroom. We've got some chicken, some tomatoes, Spanish tomatoes. I've just been reading about the reason why tomatoes most places in the world have no flavour.
Why is that?
Well, because, why do you think?
There's not enough sun.
Yeah, so the main reason is because, as well as like genetic changes to make them more perfected and even covering, it's because they pick them when they're not ripe yet. So they pick them when they're green and they ripen in a lorry, and a lot of places artificially ripen them. And the reason that tomatoes get their flavour is when they ripen naturally on the vine. Yeah. Oh, I've gone a bit sniffly. Jamon, hummus, just a light lunch because we had a big brunch, but this is my favourite selección de embutidas. Muy bien. Well, that was delicious, and this is a pistachio iced oat milk latte. Oh my goodness, I love that they have got funky coffees here. Let's give it a try. So we have just had another 80-minute massage each, and now we are here at the Cascadas, which are a series of pools. Yeah, 8 different pools, kind of like jacuzzi pools, overlooking the beautiful horizon, and the sun will set over there. We'll be gone by then, but how absolutely glorious. My darlings, I hope you enjoyed that very scenic drive. We certainly did. So we've come for dinner this evening at a place called Sa Capella, which is recommended by Alessandra, and it is a restaurant, same group as what's it called, Casa Maca, and it's in a beautiful old church. It looks really lovely, so let's go and see. Tenemos hambre. And here it is. Wow, beautiful. So luckily we've got a table on the courtyard, but
that is amazing.
This is the main part of the restaurant. It's all inside this old church, no windows. I would honestly have to have a torch on my forehead to eat in here, but it's seriously cool. My darlings, it is Sunday the 16th of June, which means today is mine and Charlie's 1-year wedding anniversary. Very exciting. So to celebrate obviously this entire trip, but we have got a boat day today, which is always the best day. Charlie has done a fabulous job organising the itinerary for this trip. I sound a bit full of cold. I think it's the aircon. I'm just a little bit bunged up from that. I feel like this is my most Ibiza outfit ever. We've got the funky necklace combination, this very vivid coloured hat, and then piece de resistance. Scarlett would be so proud. I have got my 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 bucket bat. Oh my gosh, you know when you're a bit bunged up, it feels as though your brain is not fully working. Bucket hat. So this is the outfit of the day. You excited for a boat day, darling?
Super excited, but also you forgot to mention, not just the boat day, we're going to Formentera. Well, I've never been. You said you have been briefly.
Briefly, yeah. It's gonna be good. So it's gonna be a good day. You always get a lot of sun when you're on a boat, so we're fully factor 50'd up. There's a couple of clouds, but I think they are on their way out, so it's gonna be a glorious day.
This outfit is a statement dress.
Yeah.
Floral.
Yeah.
An explosion of colour.
Yes.
Nice little bucket hat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well done. You know the brand from the logo?
𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 hat. Hermes sandals. Dress is from a brand I've never heard of. 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 bag because it says 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅.
Yeah.
There we go.
Remember where I got this bag?
No.
Our honeymoon in 𝑪𝒏𝒏𝒂𝒕.
There you go. Looking good.
It's got little lemurs on it.
Vamos a la playa.
So we've made it to Formentera. We are having lunch at this place called Carlitos, Little Carlitos, and apparently it's a lot more chilled. Lots of the places here are quite clubby, which is not the vibe we want today. So let's go and check it out. Apparently there's some nice sea views on the other side. So we've got our 800th croquettes of the trip, and everywhere does their own twist on patatas bravas. These look like kind of layered potato with the alioli and tomato on there. Looks absolutely delicious. And look at this view. Yum! And here we have got, for our first anniversary lunch, a fabulous paella. Hungry man about town on the job. This looks absolutely delicious. Yum. So we've had a lovely beachside lunch and we're waiting here for our dinghy to come and get us, take us back to the boat. And this is the Formentera boat delivery service station. So you can order from the restaurants here and the guy that's coming to collect us in the dinghy will deliver your lunch to your boat. How fabulous. This person has ordered a giant, I don't know if it's a pizza or a paella, and a load of champagne.
It's a paella, right?
Wow, I want to have a look. That's amazing. That's the way to do it. This is the boat that we've got for the day. And our lovely captain, Aaron. Yes, it's quite James Bond-esque. So now we're going to go and find a peaceful cove and do a little bit of docking for the afternoon.
Is it okay to jump in? Yes. Yeah?
My darlings, I've got no idea if you can hear me over the music, but we had the best day on the boat today. We've come now for our final evening in Ibiza to one of my favourite restaurants, which is Bambuddha. I've popped on my little Zimmermann dress, Dior heels, Prada bag. I sound full of cold because that that air conditioning has given me some kind of cold, which is very annoying. But I've definitely picked up the sun today, definitely feeling the glow, and looking forward to a lovely meal, so let's go. Good morning, my darlings. It is our 5th and final morning in Ibiza. Tragically, Charlie and I return home today. Well, not tragically, we're both very excited to see our boys. And I realised that I actually haven't shown you our amazing balcony and view. I don't think I have anyway. So you'll see our suitcases are on the ground. We've just been packing them while our sun cream has been sinking in. I did manage to get a little bit burnt on my back yesterday on the boat, which is very, very silly of me. I'm very annoyed. But I think we'll be bringing the sun back home to the UK. It looks like summer has finally arrived, so hopefully by the time you're watching this, which I think will be on Thursday, we should have some glorious weather back home. But anyway, let me show you this gorgeous, gorgeous view. I think I'll do a blog post, by the way, on our favourite spots in Ibiza, because I feel like everywhere we have been on this trip has been so wonderful food-wise. If you're into your organic food and, you know, the kind of things that Charlie and I often talk about, then instead of the party side of the island, I think that could be quite a useful little guide. So we actually haven't used it, which is tragic, but we've got this incredible heated pool. Maybe I'll go in it just before we leave, just so that we have been in it, because it is just so beautiful. And then our hotel, this side of the island, is the sunset side. The sun doesn't set until about 9 p.m. So well, aside from the first night when we ate up on that restaurant there, and can you see those little like wicker circles at the top? Those are the nests, which is where we had brunch after the hike yesterday. Not yesterday, the day before. But yeah, so this is the hotel pool. This little round area here that you see from the pool, our room is actually in it, and loads of birds you can see are actually nesting in it. So you always have a soundtrack of little twittering birds. Lots of the rooms here are quite famous for their like semicircle archway windows, and I think that's the rooms with the balcony that are below us. But yeah, this one has got probably the biggest balcony, and we've got the sunbeds here, the pool, that little seating area where we've been having our morning coffee, and then this incredible view. It is so still today. You can probably see the turquoise water down below there. Charlie and I were saying the boat trip yesterday was fabulous, but I think next time we'll keep the boat on Ibiza instead of going to 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, because I think sailing around all of these little rocky alcoves is just the most gorgeous thing to do, and you get to see some really stunning beaches. This down here is the spa that we went to a couple of days ago. I did think it was a little bit overrated on Instagram. I think it's one of those things that's cool to do, but it's not like the be all and end all, and you're actually not meant to take photos down there. So yeah, I wouldn't like book it purely if you wanted to take some cute photos, because you won't be allowed, but still it was a nice addition to our treatments, and I think you get to use it for free as a hotel guest. I'm still a bit sniffly, which is crazy, but just taking in the views one final time. We're gonna set ourselves up on one of the beds down here for a few hours. I want to finish my second book. I've only managed to get through 2 this trip, but yeah, it's been absolutely gorgeous stay. Not a cheap hotel, but I would definitely recommend it. And At Atzaro, I think these will be my 2 favourites. There we go, gorgeous view. Now let's get down to the pool. I always leave my husband in charge of finding the best sunbeds. Charlie wants to be in full sun all the time. Perfect. Yeah, seeing as it's the last day, I think full sun is in order. Good choice, darling.
Let's do this. Happy?
Our final lunch before we go. So we've got all the favourites, jamón, we've got the bread with aioli, croquetas de jamón. These are the hotel's quirky patatas bravas. Everywhere tries to put a twist on them, but Charlie and I were saying, you know, they don't need improving. Just leave patatas bravas alone.
Yeah,
then I've
petition to leave patatas bravas
alone. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Then we've got their kitchen garden hummus, and I've got a deep fried courgette flour.
I want to get an air fryer purely so I can do this summer at home, but Charlie thinks they're too ugly to have in the kitchen. I sound so full of cold. It's just my nose. But yeah, this looks scrummy. Good ordering, darling.
Good.
Yay, let's eat. So we are just about to check out of our room, but I can't resist a quick dunk in this gorgeous pool. I think it's actually heated. Oh my gosh. It's like a giant hot tub.
British soil, but we are not home just yet. Unfortunately, we just went up to the car and tried to unlock it, and the battery is flat, and I have been getting a few notifications that our anti-theft system had been going off like that. Finally. So yeah, flat battery in the car, but luckily Charlie's mum and dad actually only live about 15 minutes away, so Charlie's dad is here helping us out, jump-starting us with his car. But other than that, little blip, and we've only been waiting 20 minutes. It was a very good journey home and an amazing, incredible holiday. Charlie did such a good job organising everything, planning everything. And we're returning home to beautiful sunshine here in the UK. I still don't really have a voice. The aircon has completely obliterated my throat, but I'm sure a night in my own bed will help it out. Anyway, it's about to get very loud as an Airbus A380 flies over. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.